today I am doing a deep dive live to talk about the vagus nerve. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing why it's important to know about the vagus nerve and know some of the facts about the vagus. So the reason I want to talk about the vagus nerve today is because there's a lot of misinformation about it out there. And I think it's hard as someone with chronic pain who doesn't necessarily have a medical background, and sometimes it's still hard even if you do have a medical background, to know what is real, legit science and what is totally baloney BS. So in case you're new here, my name is Alyssa Wolf, and I am a chronic pain specialist and the founder of the Chronic Pain Breakup Method. And I just want to start off by saying that in my program, I do not teach vagus nerve drills. So please stick around in this video because I'm going to be sharing exactly why that is. And the reason that is because I know that you're looking for solutions and for real solutions and anything that will help you manage your pain. And with all of the fluff out there that's on the internet, and that you may have heard from other people, you may be just a little bit desperate to actually find those solutions that are backed by real science, which is why the vagus nerve stuff is so appealing. So if you're wondering, what is this vagus nerve that she's talking about? I'm going to share my screen and hopefully this works. For the record, I am saying vagus nerve, V-A-G-U-S, not Vegas as in Las Vegas. It's V-A-G-U-S. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. So the vagus nerve, as you can see in the picture here, is the yellow nerve in the neck. It comes out of the skull and then runs down the neck and then into the rest of the body. The vagus nerve is one of the 12 cranial nerves. And for those anatomy nerds here, it's cranial nerve number 10. Now, the vagus nerve plays a role in the parasympathetic nervous system function, okay, which is a fancy way to say that it plays a role in the rest and digest functions of the body. Okay, so it innervates the heart, the lungs, and the digestive system. So now if you're in a chronic state of stress, of survival mode, your body is essentially stuck in a fight or flight response. In other words, that rest and digest function is inhibited. And we do actually want to get unstuck to switch from that fight or flight response and into a rest and digest response. We want to basically take our foot off the gas and put it onto the brakes. And we need to do that if we want to manage some of our symptoms associated with chronic pain. And all of that is totally true. Now, according to polyvagal theory, activating the vagus nerve can supposedly do this, right? So if we can, in theory, if we can activate this nerve that plays such a big role in the rest and digest systems of our body, then that would make sense that it could help improve these symptoms of chronic pain conditions. And it all sounds super sciencey. It sounds logical. And the way that they propose we do that is with various vagus nerve activation techniques. So I'm going to scroll down. So some of those things that they propose we do to activate the vagus nerve include oral stimulation. Okay, so things like singing, humming, chanting, gargling. They recommend doing exposure to cold. So I've seen it suggested that you put your face in a bowl of ice water or take an ice bath or do an ice massage, right? They also suggest kind of doing a massage on the sides of the neck and down the sides of the neck and around the ear, inside the ear, applying pressure inside the ear. And so they suggest massaging. I've heard it suggested that you sleep on your right side in order to activate the vagus nerve. Other ways are with certain neck stretches, with torso stretches or twisting. And then I've also seen it where they recommend tapping the abdomen. And I just wanted to show this video that I found on YouTube, and I don't know if you can hear it or not, or see it.
Here, keep relaxing your gut.
It's probably pretty glitchy.
Don't make your butt be tight. Keep relaxing your gut.
Basically, the idea is that in this case, she's basically tapping her tummy. In theory, this is supposed to activate the vagus nerve in the branches that are innervating the digestive system. Okay, and you can find all of this kind of stuff out if you wanted to by doing a quick Google search and just searching for vagus nerve activation. Okay, there's a lot of stuff on the internet talking about these different techniques that will repair and strengthen or stimulate or activate your vagus nerve. And so I'm probably going to piss off some of the vagus nerve gurus out there, but who cares? This, my friends, is not real science, okay? Because it just doesn't work this way. You can't activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the system that's responsible for the rest and digest functions of the body, by activating the vagus nerve. Okay. And in fact, you can't activate the vagus nerve by stretching, by doing certain movements, by swallowing, by applying pressure or stroking the nerve, etc. Right? In fact, you can't actually really apply pressure to the nerve in your ear or stroke the vagus nerve at all because of where it's located. So if anything, if you're doing like a neck massage or you're applying pressure down in the neck, what you're actually doing is you're applying pressure to the carotid arteries, which is actually going to change your heart rate and blood pressure, but that's for completely different reasons. And it may have the actually the opposite effect of what you're looking for. I have no idea how putting pressure in the ear is going to activate the vagus nerve, or what lying down on your right side has anything to do with your vagus nerve, because you have a vagus nerve on both sides of your body. Okay. The thing is, they make it sound like laying on your left side is dangerous, and that's not something that we want to have to worry about when our bodies already doesn't feel safe, right? If you're in a fight or flight response, your body just doesn't feel safe to begin with. So we don't want to promote that, right? And if any of these techniques do actually help with pain or stress or digestion, it's not because they've actually activated the vagus nerve. And even if these techniques could activate the vagus nerve, they wouldn't actually help to rewire the brain, the spinal cord, or the peripheral nerves, which are all part of the complex pain problem. So the vagus nerve is only one nerve, and its activity is going to actually be driven by what's going on in the brain and in response to what's going on in the rest of the body. Okay, so when you hear someone tell you you've got to activate or repair your vagus nerve, remember that there is nothing wrong with your vagus nerve. Okay, if someone says this to you, your red flags should start going up immediately. These vagus nerve techniques are pseudoscience. There's no other way to put it. It's pseudoscience. And that is why we don't use these techniques in my program. Okay, for chronic pain conditions, we need to address the nervous system. But real nervous system retraining techniques are actually going to alter the activity, function, and structure in the entire nervous system, not just try to modify the activity of one single nerve with techniques that aren't actually going to do what they claim that they're doing. It irritates me that people are out there calling these vagus nerve activation techniques as nervous system retraining. It gives neuroscience a bad look. And it saddens me to hear people brush off nervous system retraining because of these misconceptions about what it really is. Maybe you've heard that nervous system retraining involves doing vagus nerve drills, and you've even tried some of them and they didn't work. And so now you're going to just say, oh no, I've done that and it's all quackery. But that's not what nervous system retraining really involves. And the difference it can make when people actually commit to doing nervous system retraining, the difference it makes blows my mind every single time. So maybe you have originally dismissed nervous system retraining because of something that you thought it involved, or that you tried before that didn't work for you. Maybe you thought it involved doing these vagus nerve drills. or mindfulness or meditation or something else, right? But now you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, maybe I was wrong about this. Maybe I do need to give nervous system retraining a try. And if that's you, I do have a 16-week program called the Chronic Pain Breakup Method that gives you the foundational in-depth education about all the changes that exist in the nervous system as a result of those long-term pain. And it teaches you the exact drills and strategies to do to retrain your nervous system. And I'd love to tell you about all of the details, all the real drills and strategies that we use in the program so that you can decide for yourself if this is something that you could benefit from. So if you want to know what those drills are, you can set up a call with me today. I will leave a link in the description so you can set it up easily. And together we'll set the record straight on what your next steps would involve with a nervous system retraining routine, whether that involves my program or not. Okay, that's all I have to say for today. I will see you in the next one.